by the government. Now, the sensational story spread among the locals, and today it is the stuff of national legend, of vast conspiracy theories, even sizable profits for those who managed to keep this story alive. So what really happened? The U.S. Air Force is about to tell us what it says happened. We're going over to the Pentagon now, where Colonel John Haynes of the U.S. Air Force will tell us
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let me read my prepared statement, and then we'll roll a short video that Captain McAndrew will talk about. These conclusions are listed in page 3, as I said, of the book. Please roll the video.
First clip's pretty quick. I'm going to start off some Air Force high-altitude balloon operations, and the first project's going to be a NASA Viking space probe tested in New Mexico. This was launched from Roswell, New Mexico in 1972 and recovered on the White Sands Missile Range, about 100 miles to the west. That is the Voyager Mars. This is during the mid-50s. That's just a comparison of the size. You can see how many airliners you could fit inside a high-altitude research balloon at altitude. These are just some payloads, unusual payloads, not typically associated with a balloon.
About 2,500 balloons launched during this 30-year period in New Mexico alone. We have been talking about other things about space and things of that nature, and this high-altitude balloon research is quite fascinating. But it was left in the dust. It's something we uncovered, and it's just kind of left in the dust of the space program. It wasn't romantic. Now you have men going up on the end of rockets, and here are guys jumping out of balloons. Kittinger, I believe, broke the speed of sound jumping out of that balloon. Can you imagine that? I mean, I can't imagine it. It wasn't romantic. Now you have men going up on the end of rockets, and here are guys jumping out of balloons. Kittinger, I believe, broke the speed of sound jumping out of that balloon. Can you imagine that? I mean, I can't imagine it. Yes, sir.
Is it possible that the Air Force could have missed something in its investigation? In other words, is it possible that there are unidentified flying objects, that there are extraterrestrial visits, and the Air Force simply has not found it or been able to detect it?
We have researched the Air Force projects and the Air Force information for these year groups. We have nothing else to say about them. You know, we don't believe there's anything else. I have no way of even vaguely believing there's anything else. I promised a gentleman right back here a question, sir, yes, sir.
Well, about 50 years ago today, a Air Force pilot spied a big array of saucers supposedly flying over Washington State. That may have started all this. Does the Air Force think it will never again investigate these reports? Is Project Blue Book was the end, and that's it?
You know, I don't ever want to speak for the Air Force about never again, but it's my opinion that they will not. I promised a gentleman right back here a question, sir, yes, sir. I promised a gentleman right back here a question, sir, yes, sir.
Well, about 50 years ago today, a Air Force pilot spied a big array of saucers supposedly flying over Washington State. That may have started all this. Does the Air Force think it will never again investigate these reports? Is Project Blue Book was the end, and that's it?
You know, I don't ever want to speak for the Air Force about never again, but it's my opinion that they will not.
And that's Colonel John Haynes' final word. He does not believe in UFOs after releasing what he hopes will be the final report on the so-called Roswell incident, which inspired many questions, a couple of which the colonel said was asked of him by his own granddaughter, inspired by the movie Independence Day, which evoked much laughter among the journalists covering today's story of this release of the report on the so-called Roswell incident. A fellow who knows much more about all of this is an investigative journalist by the name of Jim Mars, and author of the book Alien Agenda, who joins us on the line now. Jim, you heard what the colonel had to say. I assume you saw the video. The final word from the Pentagon, once again, even after the 1994 report, is it didn't happen. Do you buy that?
Well, frankly, I am underwhelmed, but I would point to Air Force documents prior to 1947 that stated that UFOs are real and tangible objects. This attitude only changed after July of 1947 and whatever crashed in the desert of New Mexico. 2 months later, President Truman created the Central Intelligence Agency and the National Security Council, which swept such issues as this away from Congress, the public, and the media, and they kept a very tight and strict secrecy over it.
A request was made by the CIA to the NRO to convene a meeting. Now, what's interesting about this, when the Venezuelans got this fucking thing, they noticed there was a label that there was a secret label on the fucking satellite. It was marked secret. This was declassified May 7th of 2012. These are balloon launches, people. These ain't fucking rockets. It says it. List of balloon launches. So I want to go down this list and I want you guys to see something very, very fucking interesting. I want this right here. I know this. This is a satellite. I'm going to take you to this too. You see this, people? What does that say? Mir. That's the Mir fucking module. That's the Mir space module that's supposed to be attached to the fucking ISS right now. That's the Mir space module. February 24th, 1997. Here goes another one. Mir. March 17th, 1997. Mir. Let me see. Here we go. Two more. Mir. February 18th, February 19th. 1999. Mir. It's the Mir space module, people. On a balloon. The Mir space module on a fucking balloon. Balloons, people.